Welcome back to the club. I'm one of your hosts, Katie Hoyt, and I am joined by a beautiful girl who I miss dearly, Miss Ashlyn Clark Gober. She came to see me for the 4th of July, and I've missed you every moment since you left.
I know. I miss you so much. It was so good to see you guys. I feel like we're finally the club summer version. Like now that everything is like summery, we've been in the pool. We celebrated 4th of July. We had like literally so many hot dogs, so many cookies. It was a wonderful experience. But since we last recorded, which I feel like was literally 3 months ago, but since that time, I feel like I've evolved because I have been to Scotland. I'm cultured.
Right.
I did
Right.
everything on my bucket list for Scotland. It was so much fun. And then I came back and celebrated being American at Katie's family's house. And it was so much fun. And let me tell you, I met a celebrity. Genuinely, one of my favorite parts about going home was meeting Katie's niece named Sylvia, who is, how old is she, 3 or 4?
Yeah, she's 3.
She is a freaking firecracker. She was going around talking to every single person at this pool party. She probably thought that the pool party was for her. It was so
Literally.
fucking funny. As soon as we walked in, she's like, Susanna's here. Play with me in the pool, Susanna. And keep in mind that my child is 18 months old. So she's not really she does not understand bigger kids that much. So
Yeah.
it was very, very funny. It was seriously such an experience. It was so much fun. And then we got to just kind of like relax and swim. And our husbands got to get the zoomies out. They were like playing games and like jumping in the pool.
Literally.
And it was really nice.
It was so fun, and my husband is literally obsessed with Jake. Like, after you guys left, he said probably 1,000 times, I love Gober. I love Gober. I could spend just days with him and never get tired of him. He's so funny. Like, literally has like a boy crush on your husband, which...
Well, Jake feels the same way. He would not shut up about Hoyt's house. Mostly like not... This is not a personal affront to Justin Hoyt, but he would not stop talking about hanging out with your father specifically. And so he just had a good time on all fronts. He got to see all of his friends. He got to hang out with your dad. We had Susanna at the pool. It was just a magnificent time. And it was crab legs. Like, what more can you ask for?
There were crab legs, and I probably heard you say no less than 5 times, those star cookies are really good. I don't know where the star cookies came from.
Sam's, I found out. Sam's Club has
Okay.
these iced sugar cookies that are like, they're shaped in a star. I'm sure they have them for most holidays. They come in like a pack of 12. Seriously, divine. Divine. They were so good. I probably had 4.
Well, I know I heard you say it like several times that day, and then after the fact, I think you've mentioned them twice.
No,
so
they've been on my mind for sure. They've been on my mind. They stick with you.
yeah, no, it was a great day, and it was kind of like a hodgepodge of people. We had all different friend groups. Like Ashlyn mentioned, it was at my in-laws' house, but my family also came, and then you guys came, and Sam and Colin, and then some of my brother-in-law's friends were there. So it was kind of just a hodgepodge of people. My in-laws' best friends came, so it was a really great time. Like you said, the guys got to get all their zoomies out. Also, all of Hoyt's like brothers' friends also love Jake, and so
Yeah, it was so much
there was
fun.
a good time was had by all.
I will say, so Susanna ended up sleeping for like 3 hours straight. So she finally woke up and Sylvia had left. And then Susanna got to be the star of the show because all of the older couples were very interested in her because they have grandkids and they were playing with her in the water and it was so cute. So she got to have her own little star moment. But then we left and the older couples that are friends with Katie's in-laws, like her parents, they were like, where did the nickname Gober come from? And Katie had to explain that it's literally our last name. And
Yeah,
they
like
felt
legal
so-
name.
yeah, like government. They felt so bad for Susanna. I'm like, that's so valid. Thank you for caring about her and, you know, her mental health. But thankfully, well, if she chooses one day, she can get rid of it. So that's one thing that she does still have as an option. But if we ever have a boy, he's stuck.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's the great thing about being a girl. You kind of get to pick, and she has such a gorgeous middle name. So
Exactly. Maybe she'll keep it. We'll see. So anything outside of us coming to y'all's house, like what have y'all been up to? I feel like I haven't really gotten to catch up since I saw you last.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you want to like spend some time talking about Scotland, so I want to just be quick, but the biggest things going on for me are that I am a an advisor for my sorority these days, and I'm the membership advisor, which means like recruitment. And so I've been like going to these
Rush, for those of you guys who are
workshops.
not familiar with the lingo, that's the same thing as
Yeah,
Rush.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. So I've been going to the like summer workshops. It's so fun. The girls are just the cutest, most beautiful, perfect girls literally on the face of the planet. And like Ashlyn and I have talked about this before, but I wish I could convey to them like you have no idea how beautiful and perfect you are right
Skinny and
now. And
gorgeous and
like,
like living life to
yes,
the fullest and
skinny.
able to tolerate
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah, eat whatever bullshit you want to eat, and like it doesn't even matter. You have no responsibilities. Like I wish I could just implant the way that I feel about them in their minds, because I know when I was in college I was so like self-conscious about everything, my outfits, how I looked, my hair, like just
Yeah.
everything. But I wish I could just tell them that they're perfect. But anyway, that's been really fun. And then the only other thing like majorly that we've had going on is Love Island, which the US season has come to a close.
Thank
And
God.
thank fucking God. And that's crazy coming from me. I'm always like the girl who never wants it to end. This season, I should have stopped watching, but it was literally like a train wreck. Like I was so invested in the goings on of the villa and these people who I fucking hate. Like there's literally three people who I was like decently okay with by the end of the show.
Out of
Oh my
how
God. And
many? Aren't
then,
there like 30 people on that show?
yeah,
I guess
no,
the
literally
end. I
there
guess
was,
the end only has like what, like 10.
yeah. And there was so much drama, so much bullshit. TikTok absolutely ruined the show this season. These new fans, these literally like 15-year-olds. The show was so fucking stupid. The people who made it to the finals, like all these couples went home that had true, genuine like connections with people in the villa. They all got sent
Yeah.
home. And the people we were left with, one of the couples literally broke up on the finale, but they had been having issues like episodes and episodes before this. So there was no reason for them to even make it to the
Yeah.
finale.
Damn.
Oh my God, it was unbearable. But anyway, we've got a lot of UK to catch up on. And so this afternoon, after we get done recording the podcast, that's right before this, my husband came upstairs. He was like, I don't want to leave, because I always make him leave whenever we record the podcast. He's like, I just want to lay on the couch. So after this, we're going to just do like a big Love Island UK binge session, and it's
I
going
love
to be
it.
great.
Perfect. That sounds like a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. So yeah, I do want to spend a very brief amount of time talking about Scotland, mainly because I don't really have a ton to say except for like it was perfect, but I always find it hard to like rehash a vacation because like
Yeah.
no one can see it the same way you saw it. But Scotland is seriously so gorgeous. We stayed in Edinburgh for 4 days. Well, technically 3.5 because we landed at like midday on the first day. And then we did not go to any other big cities. The rest of the time we spent, which was 3 other days, that was up in the Highlands, which I feel like we could have spent both a lot more time and a lot less time in. It was really interesting. But the city itself was wonderful. There was so much to do, so much history, tons of like touristy things to do if you like to see castles, if you like to go see monuments. We all did like a really big hike, which was so cool because at the top of it you could see the whole city. There was also a ton of like filming locations for like Harry Potter and Outlander and all of that. I did end up purchasing Outlander to read prior to my departure. However, as I told you on the last episode, I thought it was fantasy. And it's actually historical fiction. And when I was talking to my friend who like watches the show, one of my friends that went, she's like a huge Outlander fan, but she's never read the books. And I'm like, this is like a history book. Like everything is talking about these wars and these castles. And she's like, yeah, no, everything is like extremely historically accurate. And that really fired her up. And I was like, oh, that's not really doing it for me, and that's kind of how I
Yeah.
felt the whole time. So I'm really only, I think I got like 100 pages in, maybe a little bit more. Um, it took me some time. I think I'm just gonna lay it to rest. Like, I don't think that this is
Okay.
worth me investing more time and energy in when I don't think I'm gonna continue on the series. But if I ever make
Yeah.
it back there, I'll let you know. It was nice to kind of go through Scotland with the lens of like Harry Potter. I feel like if
Mhm.
I had seen the show Outlander, I would appreciate it more. But honestly, like everything was so Harry Potter that like I didn't really even need that
Right.
perspective.
No, that was your lens that you were looking at all
Yes,
of this through. And like
exactly.
that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly acceptable. I don't
Yeah.
believe that you need to have like two lenses for these
No, it
things.
was perfect. We did get to go see the Harry Potter train, which was every single person on the trip's favorite part, especially
Oh.
even people who like don't haven't watched Harry Potter or haven't seen like it since they were little.
Uh-huh.
The train was just like so breathtaking, and it was a really short hike up
Oh.
to see it. It was so stunning. The only thing that I will say is if you are going in a big group, then the Highlands is difficult to navigate because most of the restaurants don't have seating for 8 people. We had to get like a rent a van, which was fine, but like it's a lot of driving, a lot of trying to navigate when to go where because everything's pretty stretched out. So like just to get to the
Mm.
um like one monument to the next or one like site to the next is a couple hours of a drive, and it's pretty remote in the Highlands, so pretty much between those two places there wouldn't be things to eat or see, like maybe some farms, but it
Yeah.
was kind of hard on the in between, so like sitting in the van was not anyone's favorite. So I would recommend if you're going to do the Highlands trip not to do it as a big group. That's just my
Yeah.
personal take.
Well, I think no, I think that makes sense because like when you're in a heavily populated area, you know, like people can branch off. Like we're gonna
Yeah,
walk over here, we're gonna get a quick Uber over here, and the group can kind of split up. But when like all you have is drive time, and then when you get there, there's not that much to do or
exactly. It
see.
was,
Then
yeah, it was tough. Not that it
yeah,
wasn't fun. Like there was tons of places like on some of the drives you could have like gotten out and hiked, but all of us getting in the van and going to this place and then getting back in the van and like no food, it was a hard sell, a tough sell on a hike.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I just think that for like my general recommendations for Scotland is to do the cities. If you want to have a big group, you can do the cities, and that's plenty. Like you could spend a week in Edinburgh and have
yeah.
fun. Um, but we did find ourselves, it was 4 men and 4 women. We did split up kind of mostly girls and boys for the most part. And then sometimes if we were doing a hike and some people didn't want to go, we would split off that way. But
Mm-hmm.
a big city trip with a group is so much fucking fun because there's always
Yeah.
something to do or something to see. And so we just had the best time. So I cannot say enough good things about Scotland. We went with 3 people who have never traveled out of the country. And so it's a really good starting point because it is the long flight, it is the jet lag, but you get there and everything's in English. So that was like a
Yeah.
good, like sort of transitional or like intro to traveling abroad.
Yeah.
The only thing is like it's not a place that's known for its food. So that was like not our favorite part. Usually if I'm
Mm-hmm.
traveling somewhere, like I want to go eat and explore all their like food options, but there's not a lot.
Yeah, and that's so funny that you say that. I had never even like considered that beforehand, but you never hear like, oh, Scottish cuisine, like you guys have to go and
No.
experience it. But like that's part of the fun whenever you go on a trip to look for like restaurants or like
Yeah.
something that has a really cool concept or like a special dish that they're well known for. But yeah,
Nothing of the
that's tough. And
sort.
honestly, yeah, and food is so important when you're traveling because
Yeah.
you're constantly doing stuff. And so if you don't have a good experience or like people's tummies are upset, that can make it really tough.
Yeah. I got this recommendation to go to this place called Fazenda, which is just an upscale Brazilian steakhouse. It was so fucking good. They brought out all the
Hmm.
meats and they had this big, what they called like a cold bar, but it was basically a very large bar of sides. So it had a salad bar, it had charcuterie options, it had just like whatever you would want.
Ooh.
Like it had a bunch of fruit, tons of stuff there. And then you can order hot sides, which came with like the purchase of the meat. And then you could order like regular entrees if you wanted. Not perfect recommendation for travelers who might be experiencing tummy issues already to just sit down and eat like a fuck ton of meat one night.
Right.
So everyone was feeling pretty crappy the next day. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. But we did go between
Yeah.
Edinburgh and the Highlands. We did a trip to St. Andrews, which is the birthplace of golf. And the boys were like
Mm,
really excited about that. So they all played golf
mm-hmm.
there. And we kind of toured the city, which was really historic and beautiful. And there was a big university there. It was probably my second favorite part of the trip was doing that. It was like
Oh,
right under the train was St. Andrews.
that's nice that it was like still enjoyable for the girls. I swear to God. So, like, I guess, so Hoyt had played golf with Sam and TJ like a few days before you guys left. And he was like, "You didn't tell me they were going to Scotland." And I was like, I don't know why. Like, I guess it just has never come up. I obviously knew that you guys were
Yeah.
going, but I was like, I don't know why. And he was like, "They're going to like this golf course. I would love to go there." Ashlyn, he talked about it
Poor
for
boy. He got
week,
all
2
left
weeks.
out.
Oh my gosh. He was like, "I'm so jealous. And did you see their pictures? And I saw that they went and played." And I was like, I'm not trying to like burst your bubble, but like, I don't care. That's not important to me at all. And I can't understand your enthusiasm
Yeah. Yeah.
regarding this event that someone else is experiencing.
So it's the first ever golf course. They have this one called the Old Course. It was like the first ever invented golf course, and it's like kind of small, but it's on the coast. We went golfing on a Sunday, or they went golfing on a Sunday, and the Old Course on Sundays is not open for golf, but it's open to the public. So we got to walk around it, see like the first ever holes of golf, get photos. There was like a ton of souvenirs and like little places to eat
Yeah.
over there, so that was beautiful. But the one they did is called the Castle Course, and it overlooks the castle ruins on the coast of Scotland, or I guess the coast of St. Andrews rather. It is seriously breathtaking, but
Yeah.
if you can imagine golfing on the beach, like their scores were so bad. It was so funny. They were saying how hard it was because like the wind was just coming left and right, and they didn't know, how to
Yeah.
compensate for it. But they had a ton of fun. The funny part is that Jake, excuse me, he did not plan on golfing initially on this trip because he's just not like a big golfer,
Mm-hmm.
and no one traveled with their clubs because they were only golfing these like 2 times. So they
Right.
rented everything, and they got there and they had a threesome already, and they were like, "Jake, do you want to golf?" And he didn't even bring clothes. He was literally in jeans and running shoes. And they were like, "Yeah, you can golf in that, like whatever." And I was like, "That's so nice that they let you golf, Jake." And he was like, "Let me golf. It was $460." He's like, "Of course they let me golf."
Right. They're not going to turn that down.
Yeah, I
That
was
is
like, "Are you
crazy.
serious?" Yeah, I hadn't, because he told me like he was like, "Well, it's expensive. Do you care if I go?" And I'm like, "No, because what else are you gonna do? Like walk around with us all day?" And like, which the castle ruins were sick, and they had a bunch of cool
Right.
cathedrals, but I was blown away when I found out it was that much. But I was like, "Oh wow, they're so sweet for letting you like golf on one of the oldest courses in your jeans and your bright orange Asics." Like
Right. And it's not like there's like a huge like currency discrepancy between like the US and Scotland. Like, that's expensive no matter how you slice it.
it's more in American dollars.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, it was wild. The only other thing that I wanted to report that has changed me since that time is that on our last day, Jake had been battling some knee pain and issues, but he was planning on training for a marathon. He went running on his last day in Scotland and tore his medial meniscus like through and through. And so since then we've gotten bikes. And let me tell you, I'm a biker.
Oh, wow. I kind of didn't see that for you, I don't think.
I know, it's really interesting. I haven't like been tracking my bike rides or anything because we mostly do it just like socially in the afternoons. Jake and Susanna every morning almost get on the bike. She loves her bike seat. She loves her helmet.
Yes.
And they go to this cafe down the road and they get her like a little breakfast burrito and they get a coffee and they come back home and then they go to daycare. So that's kind of their routine. So I got to join that this morning. It was beautiful. And then we've been just kind of after work in the afternoons just going on like short rides. But Jake's currently on like probably like a 5 or 10 mile ride right now. And then I've only gone on a few. Max so far for me is 4 miles, but it really wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But I could see
Yeah,
I could
feel
see
like
this
the
for me.
miles- Yeah, no, that's awesome. But my favorite part of the biking is Susanna's helmet and
Yes.
just like the pictures of her on the bike. It's really, really special. And I have shown the picture of Susanna in the swing with her helmet on with her drumstick to literally every person
Yeah.
that I have come across since you sent it to me.
She's really passionate about the helmet, to be honest. Like anytime we go outside, she goes straight to the bike and grabs her helmet and puts it on. She will play in it all day. Like yesterday, I took it off of her because we were coming inside and she was literally sweating in it because she had it on outside in the direct sunlight all morning. But like you can't take it off of her because she'll cry. She loves that thing.
Oh, I love her. I miss her so, so, so
I
much.
know.
She
Ugh, I
really
can't wait
was
to come
like,
home.
it was, I know, it was so sweet to see her and everyone absolutely loved her. Like, I wish I could explain to you guys, like, she was sitting on the pool steps and all the women were just like crowded around her, like, she is so beautiful. Those eyes, you sweet thing. Like, literally obsessed.
It was so sweet. Like it was my favorite thing, and it was seriously free childcare. Like I would look over, and one of their husbands would have her in his lap, like feeding her beans or hot dog or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, unaware. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, y'all got her great. Like she was so happy. She was just like kept asking everyone, about their food and like wanting to swim. She was just
Mm-hmm.
cracking me up. She's obsessed with Tiber Hoyt. She was following that boy
Oh.
around everywhere. It was so
Oh.
cute. So, one exciting thing is that we did book our trip home in September. We're going to be home from the 6th till the 23rd. So, we might have an in
Oh, wow.
person September episode.
Okay. I don't think I realized. I knew that you guys were coming home, but I didn't realize it was for that long. So
Yeah,
that is
it
going to
sounds a little bit
be,
longer than it is. It's about 2.5 weeks. But
yeah.
yeah, I'm seriously so excited.
Okay. Well, we'll have to figure out what our plans are for seeing you guys and playing, and maybe we can do another little pool day or something like
Yeah, that
that.
would be
That's
great.
always our go to, our
I know.
family's go to, just because that's all we
It's
do in the
easy.
summertime
Yeah.
around here.
Yeah.
It's easy. Literally just show up in your swimsuit. So we'll have to get all that figured out. But that's really exciting. Was there anything else that you wanted to share before we got into? I don't know. Was there something book related that you wanted to discuss
There was
this
one
month?
thing, and it's not really even that big of a deal, but I did see a couple days ago that the showrunner for Fourth Wing has dipped. So Fourth Wing is like picked up by Amazon MGM for TV series adaptation. And they had this showrunner that was one of the writers on Breaking Bad. And I was really excited about that because I
Mm.
fucking love Breaking Bad. She left. I don't know if they've replaced her yet. There's still no cast, so I think they're taking
Yeah.
things slow as like the plot of the next book develops. But I did see something else where there was speculation on Goodreads that the next one was going to come out in January again, so like a 1 year turnaround. But she has
Oh,
since
wow.
shut that down, which thank God, because she needs some time to like really think about the
Yeah.
direction of this series and her writing style.
Right.
I would be in favor of taking as long of a break as she feels that she needs.
No, I would 100% completely agree with that. I continue to like get served, book content. And it's like, what is one book that changed you? Like, you can't stop thinking about it. And people seriously put Iron Flame, Onyx Storm. And I'm like, did we read the same book? I'm
Like
just
if you say
really,
Fourth Wing, then that's okay. But
yes,
those
completely
second and
agree.
third books, like I don't want to hear it come out of your mouth when it's talking about like
No.
fantasy like genre changing, genre establishing books. Like those don't even
Yeah.
relatively make the cut. Like not at all.
Yeah, no, no, not at all. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. But I remembered what it was that you told me that you wanted to say, and it was,
Oh, I'm ready. Hang on. I would like to issue a correction. So I, in our last episode, I believe I rated Silver Elite by Danny Francis. I think I rated it 4 stars or 4.5 stars. And typically, like, as I come out of like a book, like, hole or whatever it's called, like a rabbit hole, I will start to like books less and less. I was not able to stop thinking about that book until weeks later. And so what
Yeah.
I would like to do is basically issue an update that I would like to give that book 5 stars in retrospect.
Honestly, so relatable. Like, I felt the same way. Like, this book is literally not good, but it consumed me. I
Oh
could
my
not
God.
stop thinking about it.
It was seriously like so ingrained in my brain. I felt like I was just thinking about their story for weeks and weeks. And I was like, why am I still thinking about this? All I did was complain about it on the podcast.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair. It happens to us sometimes. And it's always like the books that you're reading it and you're like, this is a piece of shit. And then you cannot stop.
I
It's
know.
weeks later, you're in the shower and you're like,
What are
when's the
they up
next
to?
book?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, yes, 100%. So, it happens.
it does happen. So that's the other thing that I wanted to announce, unless there was something else that you remembered.
There was something else, and it was, I don't want to like steal your thunder because you pointed this out to me, but Sarah J. Maas posted. Is this ringing a bell?
You're so right. Sarah J. Maas posted an Instagram that she is finished with the first draft of, I'm guessing I know it's the next ACOTAR book, but I don't know if it's the final ACOTAR book. So anyways, the next book after A Court of Silver Flames, the manuscript, I guess the first draft is done.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, she is still like posting the most low quality videos of all time to her Instagram to announce this stuff. Like,
Right.
I know you can afford the newest iPhone or even like
No,
a video
literally.
camera for quality.
I agree. Like, let's upgrade this girl. She probably has like the iPhone X. Like, I know that bitch is so old and she has nobody, like, she doesn't have a team. Nobody, like, it's like she just on her own, like,
Oh
merit
my God.
was like, I'm just going to post this.
And the thing is, like, the video was funny because it was just like the end and then like she's pouring like a glass of wine or something. It's so grainy. Like, it is 2025. You can find someone to post this in 4K for you. I promise.
Yeah. So funny. But yeah, very exciting news. And I got served some content that apparently everyone is saying, like, for sure 2026 release. Now, of course, we're only in July 2025, so that could be 6 months from now. That could be
Yeah, that's what I was
12
going to
months from
ask
now,
you. Like,
that,
what do you think is her projected timeline? Like, from first draft to publishing the final edits. I feel like it would be more than 6 months, but a January release would only be 2 years since. That would be 2 years since her
Crescent
last book.
City. Yeah, so apparently that's what this TikTok was saying. Like, apparently, who's her publisher? Bloomsbury.
Yeah, it sounds right.
They had some kind of, like, I don't know if it was like an annual call or some kind of public call where they were saying, like, that she is still with them and that, they're trying to get her published every 2 years.
Okay.
So I think it was like late January that Crescent City 3 came out of 2024.
That
So
sounds right.
January would be 2 years. I don't know. I think that for a book of this magnitude, there will probably be several rounds
Yeah.
of edits and things like that. And plus then you've got to, print the book and do all of the scheduling for events and things like that. I would imagine we're probably still 9 months, a year.
That's a good guess. I think 9 months to a year is a good guess. If they're like so like dying to get this book out, which if I was them, I would get like literally all hands on deck. And I don't know what, I mean, I feel like Sarah J. Maas is just so good and she knows these characters so well that it doesn't feel like she would get anything wrong that they like majorly have to change. So hopefully it's just small changes, and 6 months is like, that would be the best case scenario, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was 9 to 12. Also, so I have the A Court of Silver Flames orange version, which you're a Kindle girly, so this might mean nothing to you.
Yeah.
So, and then I have the Court of Silver Flames black version because it had the surprise, like whatever the extra chapters at the end. And that was like a Barnes & Noble exclusive. So I just like stumbled into a Barnes & Noble yesterday and saw that she has now released every single book in a black and silver edition. Barnes and Noble
Wait,
exclusive.
I did see this.
I did
Hang on, I'm
not
gonna
get
look it up to look
any
at 'em.
updates on this. I did not see it in the zeitgeist. So I did not see anyone talking about it. And I just like thought it was a big shelf of like thousands of A Court of Silver Flames that were black. I was like, why do they have all these? And then I realized it's all of them. So if you are someone
Yeah.
who has been hesitant about purchasing the paperback because you don't love the, like electric color aesthetic, if you like
Yeah.
black and silver, you could get all 5.
I did see this, yes, but I didn't see it like soon to Barnes and Noble like special edition. It wasn't
No.
like that. Like I just
It
happened
was just
to
like there one
see-
day.
Yeah, no, literally. So I mean that's cool, I guess.
It does
but
not
I
come as
didn't-
a box set, which is really weird. That's kind of what I expected was like a big box set, but nope. They're
Yeah.
for purchase, one by one.
Okay, but you know what, Sarah, get that bag. Like, if she's got to do what she's got to do in order to publish this next book, and so that Bloomsbury can get their return on investment. So, whatever she's got to do. The thing is, with
Yeah.
a series like this, like people are gonna buy it. People will buy all 5 books, like immediately.
I was just about to say there are people in this world that probably have every single version that she's ever released, like
Yeah.
Target exclusive, Barnes and Noble exclusive, Books a Million exclusive. Like this is gonna be purchased. It's just crazy to me
Yeah.
that it was not announced.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. But it is what it is. And congratulations if you're someone who can just afford to just like buy 6 different versions of a book that you read one time. That's great for you.
I don't think that they've only read it one time, but that's speculation.
Yeah, that's honestly a great point. Yeah, because you're right. These are the same people that are on TikTok, like with the craziest
3-hour long
literally
conspiracy. Yeah.
literally like that guy, the meme of the guy with the map with all the like red strings, and he's like got crazy eyes. That's literally the same people who are buying these books.
No, totally. So, without further ado, if you are ready, we can jump into the book that we're here to talk about this month, which is The Knight and the Moth by Rachel Gillig.
Yes. So I'll start by reading our author biography, and then Ash will read us our book synopsis. So Rachel Gillig is the #1 New York Times and #1 Sunday Times bestselling author of The Knight and the Moth and the Shepherd King series, which is One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, if you're unfamiliar. An artist and a retired preschool teacher, Rachel has a BA in literary theory and criticism from UC Davis. If she's not ensconced in blankets dreaming up her next novel, Rachel is out walking in beautiful coastal California with her husband, son, and their dignified poodle, Wally. Lovely.
Lovely. Thank you for not telling us too much, telling us just enough.
Yeah.
She does seem like someone who has a legitimate degree in literature. It
Yeah.
shines through. Every single time I read a fucking paragraph, it shines through. So love her. Love her
Completely
bio.
agree. I'm using that dictionary function on my Kindle time after time with her books. So I completely agree.
Totally. So for the book synopsis, Sybil Delling has spent 9 years dreaming of having no dreams at all. Like the other foundling girls who traded a decade of service for a home in the great cathedral, Sybil is a diviner. In her dreams, she receives visions from 6 unearthly figures known as omens. From them, she can predict terrible things before they occur, and lords and common folk alike travel across the kingdom of Trom's windswept moors to learn their futures by her dreams. Just as she and her sister diviners near the end of their service, a mysterious knight arrives at the cathedral. Rude, heretical, and devilishly handsome, the knight Roderick has no respect for Sybil's visions. But when Sybil's fellow diviners begin to vanish one by one, she has no choice but to seek his help in finding them. For the world outside the cathedral's cloister is wrought with peril. Only the gods have the answer she is seeking, and as much as she'd rather avoid Roderick's dark eyes and sharp tongue, only a heretic can defeat a god.
Okay, this is interesting because I think that if I had read this before reading the book, I would think like, oh my God, she tells you the whole plot of the book.
But then she
really
doesn't.
doesn't. She
It tells you just
doesn't. Like,
enough.
Exactly. She tells you like the beginning of the book, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But there's still
But
like, a
nothing
lot
you
to
wouldn't
be
find out in a day
imagined.
or two of reading it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But honestly, if I'm being honest, I am so biased. I am such a Rachel Gillig fan. You're not going to hear me like say much bad about her and anything that she does. So like, whereas, you know, some authors might not get away with this kind of book synopsis, I'm fine with it just because it's her.
Yeah, like I literally got chills reading it again because it was so. I'm like, just like, this book is so good. Like, she's so good. So I actually love the synopsis. I do think it gives a little bit too much of the beginning away, but I don't think it gives anything from the middle to the end away. So I'm at
No.
least happy that most of the plot is reserved.
Yeah, I agree.
So overall thoughts and general discussion, just kind of what you thought in general and like big takeaways.
Okay, so initially, like when I very first started reading this book, I was like, this book is for the girls. I loved the sisterhood aspect of this book, and I felt like it was super
Yes.
unique because most of the time, these fantasy books, the female main character has literally no friends, like literally not one, and especially not girlfriends. And so to have like the girlhood element, I thought it was really, really, really sweet and like so enjoyable for me and just unique.
I completely agree, especially whenever it's like this weird main character that already has like a very distinct role in like either society or her kingdom, whatever. Like she's a diviner, but there's 6 of them. So she's like very much has this camaraderie, sisterhood aspect that
Yeah.
I loved about the beginning. It was seriously so
Yeah.
sweet. And then like kind of sticking true to Rachel Gillig, I'm obsessed with the magic system that she has created. Like she
Same.
didn't miss a beat when it came to the One Dark Window duology, and this one was just as cool. Very, very, very different, but not anything that I've seen before. I did get some feedback from a friend that it's like if From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout was good, that would be this book. But it really wasn't that similar. But just like the fact that these are like pure women that are like serving a role that wear a shroud and aren't seen, like that's very similar to the Jennifer
Okay.
Armentrout plot. But the magic system is not even nearly the same.
Okay, that's interesting. I just one last thing I wanted to say about the girls is that I really liked that it wasn't competitive amongst them. Like genuinely, these people are like here to do the same thing. There's no reason to get competitive, so I liked it. But I also made a note about the magic system, and I really enjoyed this level of fantasy. Like people don't necessarily have magic, but magic exists within the world, and like
Yeah.
it's well known and can be used. And One Dark Window was pretty much the same way. Like these are regular, normal human beings, and then there's this element of magic. I really appreciate that, and I think that I also really like a world that's like fully developed. You know, the main character has these awesome like magical abilities, but I don't know, just something about this level is also really nice too.
Yeah, there's something to be said about the main character already understanding that there's magic in the world and not them just like being blindsided and then all of a sudden they have magic and then all of a sudden they're training their magic. You know, it's just like it was really fresh and really like just started off everyone's on the same page, which was nice.
Yeah, no, no, I completely agree. And that's actually a point that I made that we'll talk about a little bit later on when we talk about the characters. But one of the other things that I enjoyed is because this book, it's like not YA, but to me, it like kind of feels
Yeah.
YA. And I don't know if it's maybe like because of the innocence of the diviners of it all, which not that they are innocent. Like these girls obviously still like to party and everything. But, and then like the gargoyle, like he just brought a little bit of a lighter element to things. And I really, really enjoyed it, which is crazy because I'm like not a YA girl. And I believe One Dark Window, I don't think One Dark Window is, maybe it is YA, but it's at least new adult.
I think it's new adult. There was definitely an explicit sex scene in there, but it wasn't like,
Yeah.
you know, explicit.
It wasn't
Which
anything crazy.
I kind of felt that way about this one. Like from a romance aspect, it was like just enough to like keep you sated, but it was not much more than like I would expect from
Yeah.
like a YA fade to black situation.
Exactly.
It was also I felt like it was very well paced. Outside of the fact that like you meet him on page like 5, that was annoying.
Right.
But after that, like things weren't just like, oh my God, all of a sudden, like we're in love and we're mates and like we're like obsessed, you know. It was
Yes.
like,
Yes.
oh, we're like, we're flirty, we're friends. Now we're friends and we're flirty. And now
Yeah.
all of a sudden, like we like each other. It wasn't like
Yeah.
inconceivably fast or anything.
No, I totally agree. And like the fact that she wrote this story in less than 400 pages is really impressive to me. Like
Yeah.
we got a lot done in that amount of time. I completely agree.
That's kind of all I had written for my overall thoughts. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Yeah, and this is really quick, but like I'm kind of like this is a shot at what was that one book? The Road of Bones. This is how you travel. This is how you write travel. There's like one scene on the road. Now, granted, I think there was mention like at one point in time that one of the towns is 10 miles away and they're all like riding horseback. So that's
Yeah.
not a crazy distance, you know, especially for traveling over like 1 day or 2 days. But it's like one scene, one conversation from on the road, and then bam, you're at the next location. And you don't
I
have
totally agree. Like this is how you do a journey. This is how you do like a mission.
Yeah.
The only thing is that the Road of Bones is literally titled The Road of Bones.
Right.
So like they're gonna be on the road most of the
Right.
time. It's just like this is how you write a quest, like a real quest.
Yeah, I agree. We got a lot done, and it's not like we missed the part of the travel. Like you got to see them in the car and like on horseback and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, as someone who like, as a general rule, hates reading about travel in books, this one didn't bother me at all. It was there
Yeah.
and gone, and it was great.
Yeah. I also
So,
felt like when
okay.
we got to, sorry, this is like kind of a
Yeah.
tangent, but like what I also really liked about this quest situation is that every place that we visited was very, very different, and it was like a new place. It was just like keeping it very new, and I like that.
Yes, no, I like that too. And they have like their own customs, their own things that they do, and like it's literally like visiting a new like country every
Yeah,
single
and it's like,
time.
but
Like
they're
all
10
so
miles
different.
away, and they totally believe in something completely different.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
same
it was
magic,
really
but they have their
interesting.
own like perspective of it. So that was really cool.
Yep. Yes, I loved that. Okay, so we'll move into our character lineup. So starting with our main character, Six/Sybil. What were your thoughts?
I personally really liked Six. I liked her being called Six better. I'm not the biggest fan of the name Sybil, but it does kind of fit the world really well.
Wait, can I say something really quick? Sorry, I'm gonna let you finish. Sybil was my grandmother's middle name, and like I don't ever want to read about a character with my grandmother's
Yeah.
name in it. And so it bothered me. Like, I don't think that the name Sybil is a bad name, but like personally, it just wasn't my favorite.
My husband's granddad had a Shar-Pei named Sybil, so I also have a personal connection, as you can imagine. I'm just kidding. But it just like, yeah, it just like wasn't my favorite for like a 26-year-old girl. But anyway,
Yeah.
I did have like a really hard time imagining what she looked like, because I feel like the only thing we learned is that she's kind of burly and she has blunt, I imagined like blunt platinum blondish silver hair, but then on the like photo, like the cover art, it's like brown.
No, it's literally like dirty blonde on
Yeah.
the cover. So I just pictured like literally my color hair on her throughout the entire book. Like she kept saying like, I don't remember if she was saying like silver. I think she was describing it as silver. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's not what you gave us, like
Confusing.
visually.
So confusing.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing that bothered me. I also like, I'm not like the biggest body shamer in the world, but like just talking about that she's like beating up her boyfriend and stuff, I'm like, no thank you.
I literally wrote that. Let me see what I said. Oh, I said the only thing I could have done without was this insistence that she's muscular. Like when she's like, when he wrapped his hand around my bicep, like I took pleasure in the fact that his fingers didn't touch. Like, okay.
The way that would
I
like
just
probably send me into an ED.
literally, like, that's fine. But like, why does it? unless it's going to come up in the next book, it wasn't something that was like a major focus in this book. It wasn't like I'm
Yeah.
muscular because, and that means I can do this. Like it just kind of wasn't that.
I guess it kind of like gave way to her being a knight really easily, but at the same time,
Mm,
like it felt weird and underdeveloped. Like, where did it come from? She's getting drowned by
right.
another person every day of her life. So like, for me to
Literally.
imagine that she's strong was really hard, except for until later on when you find out that this person is made of stone. Like, sure,
Right.
but it was just weird. But from a personality perspective, I really did like her. I felt like she wasn't too innocent, but she wasn't like experienced, so it kind of gave there was like some
Yeah.
things that she really needed to learn and some things that she kind of already knew from just being alive, which was nice. She wasn't
Yeah.
like super sheltered, but yeah, I liked her character. I don't really have anything negative to say. I did like that she was like kind of a perfectionist in the beginning and then let that go as time went on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she felt extremely well rounded to me. And what I said is like, I like a main character who I'm not paying attention to you. I'm not like necessarily picking up on things and like noticing when you do things that annoy me. That's kind of how I like my main characters to be. And I felt like she did a great job writing her. Like, she wasn't doing the woe is me thing and she
Yeah.
wasn't helpless or anything like that. So I enjoyed her character. The thing about her that it was like making me so anxious with the eyes thing because, like at the beginning when the girls start to disappear, and I think it's one looks at her eyes and she's like, what does she do to us? I was like, wait, no, like what was it? What
Yeah.
happened? And then I thought about it and I was picking up that she might have like stone eyes, like just because all of the omens kept having that. And I was really pleased with like the outcome because she said they were still like white, so I'm picturing just like ivory stone
Hmm.
eyes. I ended up being okay with the outcome, but it was making me so anxious the
Well,
entire time until we found out.
as soon as she met the first omen that was stone, and they like said like, oh, because he drinks the water, he's like not human. I was like, okay, her eyes are stone,
Yeah.
and that's the end of that. But then I was like, when are they gonna like have her do this big reveal? But whenever it was revealed to her, and she was like, I postulated that they were stone. I just wasn't ready to see it. I'm like, that makes more sense. That
Yeah.
is makes me happy. I didn't want her to be like some stupid girl that's not putting the puzzles to get like the puzzle together. But it
Yeah.
was like it felt really late to be like a big reveal.
Yeah, I could also appreciate that she was like, anytime we had to remove our shrouds, like it took a like high level of discipline to not look at our eyes. And I was just thinking like, I would not be able to do that. I'm sorry. Like I'm
Mm-mm.
not that disciplined. I would have to look. And then the fact that she kept putting it off, I was like, why? Like
Just do
you're
it.
done. Just
Yeah.
yeah, like literally just do it. But um oh, another thing I wrote is like I loved the her getting to go and like experience the world. She had been sheltered her entire life, like didn't know anything, and then she finally got to go and see and like experience the cultures of all the different locations. And then the other thing which we kind of touched on earlier is that I love that Rachel doesn't do this like chosen one stuff. Like
Yes.
Sybil is not like different than anyone else. She just like happened to be the one that finally had, got fed up with the abyss and decided to branch out on her own and do all of that. And I just like that all of these characters, like, they're normal. Sure, they're special, but they're not,
Mm-hmm.
the greatest people on the literal entire planet. They're just people that kind of figured it out and
Right.
decided to do something about it.
Yes, I loved that. Like she wasn't just like destined for this fate. It was like luckily the
Yeah.
abbess liked her more than the other people because she was more obedient. But like, what was that going to get her? A gargoyle status? Like, it's not like she was like the one, you know?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it was really, yeah, I definitely give her credit for like coming up with a story that isn't based on
Mm-hmm.
this like one person's destiny. I feel like it takes a lot more creativity, to be honest.
Yes.
And that's a good point. Like, I loved that about it. So how did you feel about Rory?
So naturally, I wrote, why did we meet him on page 11? I didn't like that his name was mendacious. Like, that's pretty
Is that
obvious.
like a real word?
Yeah, it means like someone who's not telling the truth, like someone who's lying.
Okay.
Like,
Because I read it and I kept thinking like, this feels like a real word, but I don't want to Google it because I don't want it to mean something that like,
it's
I don't
gonna
know.
spoil, the
Yeah.
plot for you.
Thankfully, my
So
non-thesaurus brain like helped me out there.
your inability to hold down the dictionary function on your
True.
book helped
Paperback.
you out
Yeah.
there. But okay, so for Rory, I just wrote like the like constant slumping, the earrings, the eyeliner. It's all giving Jack Sparrow vibes, and like as a rule, I don't love that, but again, I'm just a Rachel Gillig girl. Like she can do anything that she wants to do, and I'm gonna eat it up. And so for that reason, like I thought it was funny in this book.
Yeah. I felt like it was so plot forward that I just kept forgetting like what these main characters looked like, that they were even in love. Like the romance was definitely a side plot, which I was really happy with.
Yeah.
So every time they described him having earrings and eyeliner, I was like taken aback. I was like, oh, I forgot he like looks like that.
Yes. Okay. And I felt the same way for Benji too. Like every time she said he has blonde hair and blue eyes, I was like,
Oh, what are you talking about?
that's not, yeah, like that's not. Every time I picture a prince or a king, Dorian Havillard is in my head.
Correct.
And so telling me that he's blonde, like that doesn't really work for me, but like, it's fine. But I completely agree with you. And every time that she mentioned the charcoal around Rory's eyes, I was like, but kind of like why? Like I feel like that's an unnecessary detail that she didn't need to write. And it made sense once they went back to their village and we saw like their customs and why
Yeah.
they do that and everything. But I don't know. It wasn't like my favorite, but I'm willing to let it slide.
Yeah. No, I'm like, even not knowing about it, like I was totally fine with it in general. I don't really mind that. But I did feel like because this isn't like a chosen one plot, like everyone's the best of the best, I wasn't like yearning for him, which was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's why I'm okay with the romance kind of being falling second to like the Omen conquering plot.
Right.
So, but I thought it was like just enough. And it was also very safe. Like he was a nice guy. He wasn't like, it wasn't directly enemies to lovers. He wasn't, I don't know. It just didn't seem like he was fishy or snaky at all.
Yeah.
I was like, this feels good. This feels like it's right for her. It feels healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And I wrote the same thing. Like I'm not overly drawn to him, but like I thought he was fine. I love a sex scene at 80% through a book. Like and the fact that there was only one, like it came and it went and it was extremely satisfactory to me.
Yeah.
And now I think that it's great that we have another opportunity for a build up again in book 2, just because of the way that this book ended. Love that. I feel like she set us up perfectly to where we're not just, like complicit in the current state of their relationship.
Yeah.
So,
But not at any fault of their own, like emotionally.
Right. It wasn't like this forced, words,
Conflict.
yeah, forced conflict between the two of them. The last thing is, he better watch out for Bartholomew or I will riot in the fucking streets. Like if anything happens to Bartholomew.
Yeah. Let's talk about Bartholomew.
Okay.
My gargoyle angel on earth. Like, of course he has wings. He's the perfect boy. This was the sweetest character I've ever known. Like,
I completely agree.
the purest soul. He was so funny. He was always like he is also, like you said earlier, kind of what contributed to it feeling a little bit YA, because he was almost like a pet like character.
Yes.
Constantly like giving comedic value, but also emotional support. So I feel like he was
Yeah.
very versatile.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, I'm totally obsessed with him. And the thing is, like, for me, like, him being in the book is the only place that I felt like we were towing the line of corniness in this book. Me personally, I really, really, really enjoyed it and found him to be so, like, lovely and pleasant. And I loved just how like blunt and straightforward he was, and also like him just being pretty much like a guardian for
Mm-hmm.
Sybil throughout the whole thing. That said, if someone came to me and said I didn't enjoy his character and I felt like it ruined the book, I honestly could see that. Like I could understand someone feeling that way.
Yeah, if you were a person who is like very serious and wants your fantasies to be
Mm-hmm.
like Game of Thrones or like Brandon Sanderson, this type of character wouldn't, I could see that not being your cup of tea. But for me and my house,
Mm-hmm.
we are Bartholomew stans. I love him. I thought it was like so fucking funny at the beginning whenever he called everyone Bartholomew. And I was thinking in my head, how did she come up with this? Like, this is the
Uh-huh.
stupidest shit ever, but it's so incredibly funny. And then for it to
Uh-huh.
like come around at the end that that's actually his name and he was just trying to like express his story to other people, like it made it hit so different. It was so sweet.
No, I completely agree. Like I loved, but also my heart broke for his
Hmm.
backstory. And I kept thinking the whole time, I was like, why doesn't she ask him like, why do you call us Bartholomew? Because I kept thinking the whole time, like, what if his name is Bartholomew and that's why he keeps calling people that? But I never put two and two together that he was actually the first, what was it called? The first foundling, like the original diviner. I never put that
Yeah, I
together.
would have
But
never
at the
made it there.
end, no, at the end when what's his face Benji hit his wing, like how do you can he be fixed? Like I thought he was a goner, and I was like, I will not read book 2
That's how
if
I felt.
this thing dies. Like I was so upset.
He sliced Rory and I was like, oh, maybe not. And then I heard that the wing stone went flying. I started sobbing. I was like,
No,
I
I
can't, like, he
gasped.
can't die. I'm not ready to die. I was like, literally was crying in bed. I was like, he cannot die. I
Uh-huh.
seriously will not make it. But at least right now, he's alive. And
Mhm.
that's all I can hope for is that he is somehow mendable and will live to like see some sort of like retribution. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree because at this point, like, this is the only person in the entire world that I care about is this gargoyle. So
Do you want to talk about Benji for a second since he better motherfucking count
yeah.
his days?
Yes. Okay. So before we get into that fact, I don't know how I feel about Benji being a nickname for Benedict. Did you feel that way?
Nope. I didn't really
I think it's
I didn't really pick up on it to be honest cuz I was
okay.
just like his name's Benji.
I think that it's because so my boss has a nephew whose name is Benjamin and they call him Benji. And so like when you because Benji's like a distinct name, you know, when you
Yeah.
give it to a name that's not Benjamin, now to me that feels like really stupid, but
You
I
know
mean
what's
it
so crazy
works.
is that we had this is a derail, but my husband and I had this conversation last night. We read that book, The Wedding People. No, it wasn't The Wedding People. It was what was that other, was it Great Big Beautiful Life that had like Peg,
Oh
whatever,
yeah, for Margaret,
for
yeah.
Margaret. And I was like, where, because my grandmother's name was Margaret. And so like I am like dying to name a child Margaret. I wanted to name Susanna that. Jake said no. So then last night I was just like talking about our family names because we were talking, his books right now have crazy ass names. And I was like, how did they get Peggy for Margaret and how did they get Polly for Elizabeth? Like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
certain how those came about. And so Benji for Benedict feels similar to that for me. It's not like it's not on the nose, but it's not
Yeah.
so far out of the realm of possibility that I'm like, oh, that doesn't make sense.
Okay, that is so funny. When we were reading Great Big Beautiful Life, I literally had to ask ChatGPT if Peggy was a nickname for Margaret. And he was like, yeah, because it was like Maggie and Meggie and Peggy. And it's just like, it like devolved over time. And then he said, like, the same way that like Dick is the name for Richard and
Hmm.
like Bill is for William and other examples. I don't think I've ever heard Polly for Elizabeth. I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
If you've ever met an adult woman named Polly, which are kind of rare, her
Uh
name
huh.
is likely Elizabeth.
That's crazy. I need to ask Chat what the backstory is on that. But yeah, I think that Benji Benedict is not like so far off. Like I can see the correlation there, but because I I don't know my boss's nephew, but like she talks about him all the time. And so now that just feels like, it feels to me like Benji can only be the nickname for one name, and that name is Benjamin.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Once it's associated with one name, like then it kind of takes away. Like you wouldn't call someone
yeah.
else Peggy unless they're like, you know,
Right.
their name was just Peggy. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, okay. I don't want to derail any further, but he grew on me as the book went on, and there were parts that I kept getting annoyed by him, which were obviously supposed to be red flags. Girl, the way I did not pick up on it, like literally no part of me. And after he did it, and I was like, oh, like I should have seen this coming literally the entire time. It was one of those things where I'm just reading it so mindless, having absolutely no thoughts about
Just having
the
fun,
book.
just experiencing things.
No, literally, like just
Just
it's
waiting for her to tell
vibes
you that the
only.
eyes were stone and that Benji's a bad guy. Like,
Yeah, no, literally. Like, I don't know why I didn't pick up on it, because I was like, why would he do that? Like, and then I was like, he's young, you know, like they're just trying to teach him. So stupid of me, but like at the end,
but
I
that
was
probably made
kinda
it so
happy
fun
because
for you.
no, it did. And then like at the end, you know, they're about to win, and I'm like, but there's only 7, 8 pages left in the book. And I really need to know how the kingdom is going to fare now that they've accomplished this. And like, what does this even mean for everything? And now the book's about to end. And I don't want just, oh, and they lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Like, and then when that happened, I was like, oh, there's book 2. That's the reason why.
Yeah, I was hoping that this was a
So,
duology all along, but I wasn't certain because I didn't like look into it or anything.
same.
But I did find myself like slowly losing confidence in him. The first thing was the knighting of her when he was like getting mad that Rory was like getting involved. But you could then like at that point I was like, oh no. Oh no, something bad's happening. And then I was like thinking back to whenever he was at the actual tour with all of the diviners, and he was just like kind of being a dick at that point, but they were like, oh, he's just drunk, he's just like a young drunk guy. And so then I was like, oh no, this is about to be bad. And then it just slowly got worse and worse. On the last page out or whatever, the last scene, I was like, damn it, like you did not learn your lesson. You are too young, you are too cocky.
Yes, and like I felt like the rule that they had that like no man is supposed to be higher than like the power of the gods. I thought that was a great rule, and I thought that he understood like even if he is the one to defeat the omens and all of that, like it's not going to be just this traditional kingdom and he's going to be like the ruler of all the people. I thought that he understood that. But another thing, like after the fact, I was like, it seems like another clue was when he was going through his grandfather's journal, or like when she found the journal and was like reading all of the information about the diviners, and she was like, you said that like you didn't know anything. And he's like, oh well, it just like
I didn't want to
seem
hurt your
important
feelings.
to me. Yeah, like it just didn't seem relevant to me, and so like I didn't want to bring it up. And like that was another red flag. Girl, I was seriously just like high on life reading the book until he turns around and stabs Rory. I don't know what was happening in my brain, but I don't know. It's like I hate that, but then now we're set up perfectly for book 2. And I also felt like this with One Dark Window, like I felt like you accomplished so much in book 1, and I was kind of like, where is book 2 gonna take us? And obviously I loved the journey that book 2 took us on, so I'll be extremely interested to see how we fare in book 2. And like honestly, I'm just so curious to know how the world is going to run in this like new era of things without the omens and the abyss and all of that.
Yeah. What did you think about the abbess? Because I felt pulled in 2 different ways. Because at the beginning I was like, okay, obviously I hate her. She's like,
right,
basic, like you're supposed to hate her. She like, you have this overall sense that she's like taking advantage of these young girls and she's making them do her bidding and all of that. But the more I learned about her and the more I learned like how she actually like created this whole magic system, she made it up in her head pretty much, she controlled the dreams. I was like, I don't really have any other choice but to stand.
I think that's a really interesting take. And while I don't think you're wrong, like I was obviously like from the jump, like weird vibes. She just I don't know, I didn't like the energy. And so obviously like I didn't like her, but you're right. When I was reading this, I was like, how did she come up with this? This is so clever, and like she knew exactly how to manipulate the situation in her favor so that inadvertently like she was the mastermind behind literally the entire operation. So I think that's fair. Honestly, the only thing about her is that I kept thinking in the beginning, and like as the story evolved and there were all these different versions of the story, I kept thinking like, yes, but where did she come from? Like, how did
Yes, that's what kept
she?
killing me. I'm glad we finally figured that out.
Okay, well then she just says like she was stillborn, but like I still need more information. Like she in the water? Like I just still need to know like the story of her.
Oh, of like her mom and everything.
So yeah, I wasn't sure how the stillborn of it all happened. Like who was her mom? What did she know to deliver her by the spring? I don't know. I
Yeah.
need more
I feel like
information.
I feel like it was just like happenstance. Like she just needed some water to deliver in, and she like happened upon the spring
Oh.
and was like, "Let me deliver in this water." And then she was stillborn. She's like, "Oh no," you know. So then like her baby comes out with like whatever.
Oh.
Like she finally is back alive, and she's like stone eyes. I don't know, but yeah, it's a good question. But I do feel like we at least understood that like from actual rebirth or whatever of the
Mhm.
abbess, she was magical, and so
Yeah.
she didn't like seek it out herself, which I kind of
Yeah.
liked. I was pretty thrown by the fact that she was like covered in like totally shrouded with like the hair, like the whole head was apparently covered,
Yeah.
gloves, dress. I did not get that vibe. I was kind of imagining like a normal appearing woman from the beginning. So then I was thinking throughout the
Same.
book, maybe the diviners are the magical ones and maybe they are the only ones that have the stone eyes so that the abbess doesn't have to look that way. Because I thought maybe she was like not that old, but apparently she's like the oldest of them all and like fully
Yeah.
stone.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't know if maybe I just missed something that she's fully covered, but when she was like, oh, and I saw in like her whole body, like her face and everything, I was like, wait, you mean to tell me that we haven't been seeing her face the entire time? Like
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so I guess that made more sense to me, like why the girls would take their shrouds so seriously. Because the abbess,
Mm-hmm.
from what I gather at the end, is totally covered, like arms,
Yeah.
head. They didn't even know she didn't have hair, like everything. And I was
Mm-hmm.
imagining like the mom from Tangled. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I was imagining I can
Like
like
just an
see
evil
this
lady.
actress. Yeah. I was imagining I don't know who this actress is, but she's like pale skin, older woman, blonde hair. I cannot think of a single I can't think of her name. I can't think of a single thing that she's in.
The lady from Chronicles of Narnia.
I have not seen that movie since it's literally like since it came out, so I
The
couldn't
White
tell
Queen. You
you.
know, okay.
Girl, I don't know. I can like see her in the I like have a visual in my mind, but I can't think of what movie she's in, and it might be some kind of like fantasy. I don't know. Anyway, I just see like a white woman with like solid white hair,
It's gotta be her.
old.
Let me look up what her name is.
Okay, wait. What'd you call her? The
I
White
think it's the
Queen?
White Queen from Chronicles of Narnia. The White Witch.
Queen.
What's her?
Oh,
Tilda Swinton.
wait. I think that literally. Yes,
I
that
know.
is literally who I'm picturing.
I know the description was perfection. Like I knew who it was.
That's literally the exact actress.
I know. I can read your mind. Like you're seriously like.
Yeah, that's exactly who I was picturing for the abbess. So
That
I
makes
don't know
sense
where I
for me too.
missed.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't know.
I don't know where I missed the shrouding and all of that,
I
but
know. Like
apparently
when it
I
all came
did.
off, I was like, I didn't know that was there. That's kind of crazy.
Same.
Um.
Same.
So anyway, that's kind of how I feel about her. Just kind of on the fence. I like her story. I do want to know more. I agree with you, but I also like. I'm glad that she's dead, but I also feel like she really did something.
Yeah. No, I
She was a
completely
dreamer, a
agree.
believer.
She was, and she was also an executor. She did exactly what she set out to do. So,
Exactly.
um,
The
okay.
last person I had. Oh, go ahead.
The only other character that we wrote anything for was Maud, and I'm extremely interested to hear what you thought about her.
Let me just start by saying I love the name Maud. There was this girl in my sorority in college named Maud, and I was like, I actually met two Mauds in college, and I was like, you girls are so cool. You have no idea. So I love that name. It's always been like one of the ones on like my thought process for like naming children.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it'll be another middle name. I don't know, but love it. I thought it was so cool that she was like this big knight, and she's a daughter of women who were hunters and knights and all of that. It made her story really interesting, and also like kind of made her more badass. Like she's not just like some random girl that stumbled upon the knighthood. Like she totally belongs
Yeah.
there. And I liked that she was like definitely a good friend character, but also still like motherly. But I felt like she was the most reserved out of everybody at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I said, like, for whatever reason, like, she wasn't hitting for me. And I'm usually like all for this like band of misfits, this like group of people that don't make any sense together, but they make it work. And like, I don't know why her character was not landing for me. Like, I didn't dislike her, but I don't think I was able to appreciate her as much as you're meant to. But I have a really, really, really hard time with characters in their 40s. And I think it's because, like, Maud is 10 years older than me, which is not that much older. But she's supposed to be this, like, mother figure and this, like, experienced warrior and everything. And, like, I can't reconcile even, like, how she looks in my
Yeah.
mind is really difficult for me. So I don't know. I think maybe I'm just having a hard time. Honestly, I think it's just like an issue of me being able to conceptualize this character. Like, it wasn't hitting for me. And then like at the end when she's injured, the whole time I'm like, oh my god, can we just leave her at home today? Like, she doesn't need to come to this
I'm actually
one.
really worried about her. I think this might be like the sacrificial character, which I think for most of us would be tolerable but still sad. Mainly
Yeah.
sad for like Rory.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like yeah, she was like the most reserved, so she was like the hardest to like get to know. But she was like starting to warm up. I feel like she was just breaching the like real friendship with Six sort of toward the middle and end of the book, and so we didn't really see a ton
Yeah.
of development of that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. And I thought that it was like really sweet at the end when Benji's like having his like psychotic break. That he like was actually emotional over Maud, and like the only reason why he needed to part from her was just because he was too like relying on her. I thought it was really sweet and everything, and like I'm happy to have her there, if for no other reason than to just like have an additional person on their side
Yeah.
who like is capable of
That's the
helping.
thing
But
is like he's getting rid of the most capable people in his life and the only people that actually give one single fuck about him or Trom. So
and
I'm
who
just
have
like
been there through his entire journey. Like, literally, he would not be there without them.
exactly. And it's also like, do you, first of all, yes, you would be nothing without these people, but also, do you not think that they know you well enough to like predict what you're going to do next? Maybe this caught them off guard, but they were sensing something.
Yeah.
Like, if Rory was worried enough, to kind of plan for this, like, they know, like, they are not, it's not going to be hard for them to figure him out. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just like a weird thing to do. But again, I think
Yeah.
it definitely points to the fact that he's like young and naive and
Yeah.
obsessed with money and power.
100%. Yes. Yes, exactly. And like, I know that he'll get his. And I don't know. Like, I kind of don't feel as though I'm like preying on his downfall. Like, I don't necessarily want them to kill him. I just like want him to come back into his right mind and like
Yeah.
go about things the way that it was always intended to be, even though I don't know what the original intentions were.
Fair.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like they are conceivable though for like a normal person. Like, okay,
Yeah.
we live happily ever after. Your knights get to do what they want. Like,
Yeah.
peace peace on earth. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be really interesting. Like, are they going to tell all of civilization like this was all a hoax to begin with? Like, all of your customs and traditions are revolving around these omens, and like all of your beliefs were actually for just like regular people who just happen to have magical artifacts. Like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But like, I don't want the different places to like lose that. Like, I want them to maintain their cultures and like
Hmm.
have something to believe. Like, I feel like everyone should have something that they believe in that like
Yeah,
shapes the way that they go about things. So I don't know.
that's fair. Yeah, I'm really interested to see the development of this. I'm ready for book 2. I know this just came out, but I'm like,
Same.
hello,
Same.
time.
Yeah. Let's get with it.
So now that we have hashed out all of the characters, it's time to play favorites. So I am fairly confident we have the same favorite character. So if you want to do us the same rundown as we did for Sunrise on the Reaping, we can say it together on 3.
Okay, let's go for it.
Let's do their given name, government name.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bartholomew.
Bartholomew, of course.
Duh.
Like, it was never even a question. I knew from pretty much our first interaction that this was going to be my favorite character. And like,
Yeah.
I could talk about him like until I'm blue in the face. I am so obsessed with him. I love him so much. I could not say enough good things.
No, like I wouldn't change a hair on his little stone head. He's perfection.
Agree.
It was so fucking funny how he kept getting like common sense phrases wrong. But like they just, it just makes sense for him. He's so funny. He's whatever years beyond his wisdom.
Oh my God. And I thought that it was like so, like, I felt so justified at the end where the Weaver is talking about him. And she was like, he was always just like this peculiar child. And I was like, exactly. Like, I love just like having that validation that, like, this is a little weirdo. It always has been. And so it was just like, it made him all the more endearing to me.
Yes, he was so freaking cute. So after favorite character, mine sort of goes hand in hand with my favorite scene, and it's the one that we were just talking about where the heart sore Weaver is so happy that someone is finally bringing her the death that she has wanted for so long, and so we don't have to like kill her viciously or like with any
Right.
sort of like ill intent.
Right.
But she also uses her final moments to like really help everyone understand like what this whole world is about and like how this all came to be. And just like it ending with Gargoyle's like story of being Bartholomew and the first foundling child, like it was seriously, oh my God, it was so beautiful. That was like the best scene.
Okay, so that actually was also my favorite scene, and like start to finish, like I loved exactly what you said, that like it didn't have to be this big battle, that they didn't have to challenge her to anything. She's just like, no, I'm ready, do this, and here's all the information that you need. And then like getting Bartholomew's story, like it seriously broke my heart for him, but I just loved it. But I did have a runner up for favorite scene, and that was when, so like they're about to leave Aisling and they're gonna go to Colson Fair for like the party for the night, and it's
With
just
all the
like the
with all the
girls.
diviners, that is what I have written down. Like I have a runner up for the whole, was like literally the whole section of the diviners and their girlhood and being sisters and like partying for the first time together.
Yes. Okay. So like just like the getting ready together and just like girly
Yes.
girl chit chat, and they're like smoking the idleweed. It just like gives college pregame, like you're about to go out with your friends and you're just like being girls together and talking about like silly goofy stuff. And I even loved like when they get there and they're doing the dancing, and also like when they do like the challenge and they're like, okay, like let's band together to see if we can knock this guy off of his feet.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like such good times. And honestly, like, if I don't know if this is like a universal experience, but Ashlyn and I are from like a small town, and so on the weekends in high school, like you would have a bonfire, and so you would go, and it was where you would like flirt with the boys and like, you know, hang out with your friends. And it was very much just giving that energy, and it was so wholesome and just like nostalgic for me. I loved it so much, and I cannot think of another book that has like had anywhere close to this kind of same concept or like giving me the same vibes.
I know. And like the whole time I was reading it, I like had the fuzzies. Like it was making me think of like Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap. Like just so girlhood, so sister, so fun and young and like full of life.
Yes.
And I feel like they deserved that. Like they had put in 10 years almost of work just doing what they were told. And so they finally get to like go experience something.
Yes.
Oh my God, it was so, so exquisite.
Yes, it was great. That's so funny that we wrote the same things. But
I know, that's crazy. So, well, we're just simpatico today. We're both wearing brown. We're both like loving the season that we're in. It's just if you get us together in person, like the ESP just like reconnects, and then we're just like,
yeah, no,
we're on it.
completely agree. And it helps that we actually read a good book for once.
So true. So true. So now that we have played favorites, let's talk some shit. Who is your least favorite character?
Okay, so I did write the abbess.
Okay.
I kind of feel like I should have put Maud here, honestly. Like
Interesting.
I don't like to give the obvious choice. The abbess is obviously like she's the villain of this, the main villain of the story anyway. So I stand by her being my least favorite, but like I kind of just feel like Maud, and not for any kind of like, like nefarious reason. She just didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, you can put that down as your hot take as well because that's kind of crazy.
That's fair.
So that, yeah, but I feel like the abbess, and that makes sense. And then Maud is like Katie's little weird thing that she always has with books. My least favorite character was kind of out of left field. It was Hamlin, actually, who she like took a little spin with in the grass, the meadow, and then he thought he was really something, some sort of big shot. Was like gonna look under her shroud and like gonna, and then after that, like kept trying to flirt with her and kept trying to like establish himself as something to her. And I was like,
yes, like
just aren't.
No, like you are drawing a line that doesn't exist. He just like he literally was like a gnat. Every time his name popped up, I was like, shoo, like what are you even doing here? Get off my page. I don't care about you. I don't want to read about you. That is such a good call. I completely forgot about him.
Yeah, when she slapped that freaking glass of wine out of his hand toward the end, I was like, yeah, you deserve it.
Yeah.
And more.
Yes, 100%. That's a really good call. So
Thank
what
you.
about your least favorite scene?
I put the scene where they knighted Six. She like, whatever announces her name to them, and it's like supposed to be really special, but the whole time Benji is throwing a little bitch fit about her not saying the right words, and like she's supposed to sign her life away to him because that's how knighthood works. And he's not going to hold her to it, but she should still say it. And like I just felt like it was the part where kind of like my hackles went up, and I was like, okay, this guy's like not on our team anymore, and I don't even want her getting knighted right now. And so it just made me kind of like pull back a little bit, and so I just didn't like the feeling that it gave me.
Yeah, I know. I think that's a good call. That was definitely like the point where you start to think like this kid's getting a little bit too big for his britches. Like he started to feel a little bit more entitled at that point. I think that's a good call.
What about you? What did you put for least?
Okay, so mine I'm always like just mentioning whatever was like the nastiest shit in the book is always going to be my least favorite scene. But when like the very first time that she realizes that the omens are alive when they're in the
I know what you're about to say.
The shocked.
I was saying seeked.
Ashley and I Googled it, and like there's not a straightforward pronunciation. Apparently it's like I can't remember if it was Irish or Scottish. I want to say it was Scottish. The only way I could find a pronunciation,
so then maybe I should be able to pronounce it then, right? I just spent a few days there.
100%. Like I can't believe you didn't already know. I was saying seocht, like as though it was like some kind of like Hebrew term or something like that, but apparently it's shocked. At least that's what I could find on Google. Anyway, when they're talking about or when they're like at the scribe and fighting him, and he's like got her on the bookshelf and he's eating her hair, and then hits her and her lip starts bleeding and it splatters on the ground. He like jumps on and starts licking her blood off the
Yeah.
ground. Like,
That was
so fucking
freaky.
gross.
That was
Yeah.
freak move. Yeah.
No, agree. That's exact. I've literally wrote like, you freak. Like, that is literally disgusting. And anything with hair freaks me the fuck out. Like, I don't, and I've always felt this way. Like, I don't like loose hair. It gives me heebie jeebies. Eating hair, like, I could actually vomit just thinking about it. So, yeah, that was my least favorite.
No, that's totally valid. So outside of not really liking Maud, do you have any other hot takes that you want to discuss?
Okay, I don't know if this is a hot take, but it's the only thing that I could think of. And it's pretty much just like, I feel like Rachel with One Dark Window, like, I feel like she really thrives in that more like eerie, kind of like suspenseful, just like darker setting. This was so different. And like, I loved this book, don't get me wrong. But I just feel like she does better in a little bit more like serious setting. And like, again, with Bartholomew, love him. Like you said, would not touch a hair on his head. But I just kind of like the more serious version of her. So I don't know if that's a hot take, but it's what I
don't.
got.
Yeah, I like that thought. I don't know if it's a hot take amongst the crowd, but I definitely don't like this less than One Dark Window. So maybe that is a hot take.
Yeah.
Against for me. But I think it makes sense. I loved One Dark Window, and it is like sort of spooky, but not really. But I wanted to get your thoughts because someone had said that they didn't really recommend. Like, we have a friend that like only reads fantasy, and someone was like, well, I really wouldn't recommend One Dark Window to you because I don't think it has enough magic for you to like it. But she read this and loved it. So, but I felt like, at least to me, that One Dark Window had more magic.
I would completely agree with that. And I felt like the magic was a lot more. Maybe it was just because in One Dark Window, the magic is more accessible, like to the public.
I was about to say it's more useful to the characters. They are
Yeah.
physically able to use it more.
Yeah, I think that maybe that's why. Because at the end of the day, in both books, the magic is reliant upon objects.
It's wielded by, yeah, like you have to have the object to wield the magic.
Yeah, it's not just like this innate ability to wield magic. So I don't know, but I would definitely agree that One Dark Window felt like there was more magic, but also there's like the main character in One Dark Window like is experiencing magic in her day to day, and so maybe that also is why it feels more heavily influenced by magic.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, but I absolutely loved One Dark Window. And if you read this and haven't read One Dark Window, like, you gotta on a rainy day, maybe in the fall or the winter.
Yeah, it's not like
really good.
actually scary, but it's definitely darker, more serious, like more poignant. Like, I don't think that there's not like a scary like fear aspect, but it's definitely not as light and airy as this one.
Yeah.
So
okay, what about you? Any hot takes?
I don't really have any. I was going to say that I don't hate Benji, but you said you don't hate Benji, so maybe no one does. She wrote characters in her other books that were so fucking easy to hate. Like, you wanted nothing but the worst for these people, and I don't find myself feeling that way about Benji. And I know he's supposed to be now like the antagonist, but it just happened at the end. Really, like the big thing happened at the end. But also, he's just a young boy trying to figure out what's going on, and I think that there's still time for him to make a 180 and prove that he can like be a normal king.
I would agree with that. And I think just like given the fact that you could understand like why he originally like sought to end things, you know, with the way that the current like system was, you could understand why, and like logically that makes sense. It's just like it felt like he lost his marbles at the end, but I do still feel like there's room for a redemption arc there for him.
I think there is room.
Yeah, it's just maybe we just don't hate him enough yet because like we're so new into realizing that he's actually like fighting against us, and so there's not like much depth there yet.
Yeah, even looking back at all the little pieces, like even the tension that slowly built, I still kept thinking like he's just misguided. Like,
Uh-huh.
and I still feel that way. I think that this can be redirected
Yeah.
toward like the good of the people, but maybe not.
Yeah, I agree with
We'll
that.
see. We'll see. So, what are your final ratings for the book for stars and for spice?
Okay, so for spice, I said one chili. I thought it was great,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay. Yep. Exact same. I don't feel like it needs more. I don't feel like it needs less. It was great what she gave to us. It wasn't too much, and it fit really well with the overall romantic
Yes,
plot.
agree. And again, like this was extremely plot driven. The romance that we got was very satisfactory to me. Like I needed it, and she gave it to me. And I love, like I said, I love an 80% through the book sex scene. So that worked for me. And then for final ratings, I gave this 4.5 stars. I loved this book. Like I truly like I don't have a bad thing to say about it. I just like can't in good conscience like you can't get the 5
Yeah.
out of me. So I don't know exactly what it is, but
Yeah, it's hard because
yeah.
I was bouncing back and forth between 4.5 and 5 stars. I don't think that this is a book that I'm going to be thinking about for weeks to come. The
Mhm.
problem that I'm facing is that like Danny Francis wrote the like kind of a piece of shit, but like a really enrapturing, like could not put it down, cannot stop thinking about it. Terrible grammar, needs editing, like book, and I gave it
Yeah.
5 stars. This one was like beautifully written, perfectly edited. Like I don't really even
Uh-huh.
have any notes for like how I would have wanted the plot to be different. I don't think I would change anything, but genuinely like I don't see myself obsessing over it for days to come. So I think I'm going to
Yeah.
stick with the 4.5. I think it's a good call, but it's also like it could be like leaning toward like 4.75 if I were to give it like a point 0.2, like
Yeah.
a
No, I totally agree with that. And I actually almost said that because, like, I don't know why, for whatever reason, like, I just can't stick the 5 right there. But I think that it's great. And I'm the
mhm.
same as you. And I almost feel like the reason why it's not so, like, going to be so profound and, like, sticking in our minds is because you wrap up a lot in this book. Like, it's only at the very tail end do you realize that things aren't what they seemed to be. But then, even whether you picked up on Benji's, behavior changes throughout the book or you realized it after the fact, it wasn't necessarily like surprising.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Like when the next book comes out, I will certainly, I mean, we'll probably, I would imagine we'd cover it on the podcast.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I'm excited, but yeah, I'm the same as you. Like I don't know that I'll just be sitting around thinking about these characters. Maybe Bartholomew, maybe he'll like
Yeah.
cross my mind from time to time, but other than that, I don't know that I'll be just like obsessed with this one, like especially not the way I was with One Dark Window. That one I literally did think about for weeks after I finished.
Yes, exact same. And so I don't think it's like a Rachel Gillig, like I don't think it's innate to her like not being able to deliver 5 stars. I
Mm-hmm.
just think that like and maybe it's because me and you like more of like the high stakes enemies to lovers, like
Yeah.
super romance driven, kind of toxic stuff. And this leaned more toward plot driven YA. It was still very lovely and I had a great time. It's just like not
Yeah.
something that I was like devouring.
Right. Yeah. I completely agree with that. Um, Okay, any other thoughts before we announce what we're going to be reading for August?
No, I have no thoughts except for I'm really excited to hear what you have to say.
Okay, our book for August, you guys, like, it was a really easy sell to Ashlyn. I think I'm like downplaying how excited I am for this book. Okay, so you guys know I'm a Magnolia Parks girl. Like, you could not waterboard me into saying a bad word about Jessa Hastings or Magnolia Parks or Daisy Hates. Like you really couldn't. And I just decided like it's time for Ashlyn to be introduced to Jessa. That said, our book for August is The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. This is a standalone book. Apparently, there is like a nod towards the Magnolia Parks series, but I don't think it's anything crazy. Um, I cannot wait for you to experience her books. And I'm really curious because her writing is like not the best.
Okay.
So we'll see
It
how this
hasn't
goes.
pushed me away before. Like, I made it through the 7th Zodiac Academy, so I think we're okay.
That was the exact comparison I was going to make. Like Magnolia Parks, which I've never read Zodiac Academy, so I can't speak to like the writing in those books. Magnolia Parks gives the same energy to where like the book is not good, but you are addicted. Like you cannot stop reading about these people. Like it consumes your every thought. Like I couldn't put the book down, and when I did, I was just thinking like constantly about what was going on in these books. I have heard nothing but good things about the conditions of will. I've had multiple other friends read it and say like, you have to read it immediately. It was so good. And these are friends that I like trust. And also friends who read different books. So I really think we've got like a well-rounded group of opinions on this. And like literally, if you hate this book, I will like kill myself. I'm gonna be so upset.
I am actually really excited because from what I've heard from you, she writes books about like it girl characters and like very gossip girl, very like Hollywood, like shiny lights, like exciting characters, but not fantasy. So I am excited to kind of like veer off of our current path, which has been multiple fantasy books in a row. So yeah, I'm really excited. I don't really have any background on what's her name,
Yeah,
Jessa.
Jessa.
So anyway, I'm ready to be served Jessa Hastings content.
Okay, well, I do need to let you know that she recently was in a lot of book talk drama. And so it might be controversial that I'm sitting here saying, like, you could not get me to say a bad word about her. But, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm separating the art from the artist here. Her books are literally like have drugs in them. The drama was basically that this one big book influencer did an ad for this platform that's like basically AI. So you can go on and type in like a character's name and it will generate like an AI image of whatever you want it to generate for this character. And so then, of course, artists get mad, and rightfully so. Like, I would be upset. Like, you know, artists are coming out and saying, I don't receive $1 from these like photos that this thing is generating, and this is my intellectual property and all of this. Well, then Jessa, after the fact, came out and was saying that we need to stop criticizing this girl, and like, you guys are such hypocrites because I know every single one of you uses ChatGPT every single day. And then it was like a really big drop, but she like went overboard, like multiple Instagram text stories,
Oh,
literally
she was
losing
like
her mind.
really defending this girl and defending AI as a
Yeah.
whole. Got it.
Yeah.
Let me just
So
ask. So are we using ChatGPT every day?
me personally, yeah, but and I'm also using it like 16 times a day. However, I know a lot
Oh,
of people that don't. They
what?
like don't even have ChatGPT downloaded on their phones.
No, why would you have that? You can just Google it. Also, like, isn't that like polluting the earth?
Yeah, it is. It's like really bad. And
Okay.
so this is my cross to bear. But like I don't fly that much, you know. I like to think that my carbon footprint is like relatively low. So I'm just like being delusional about it.
Yeah, I think you are. I also feel like you can Google stuff just as easily as you can type it into ChatGPT, but that's just me.
Yeah, my issue is that I'm not smart. Like I can't figure out what I'm trying to ask on Google. So I have to Google like 16 things to figure out what I'm trying to ask so that I can get the answer that I'm asking. Whereas chat, I can be like, look, this is exactly the kind of information that I'm looking for. Like this is the situation that happened to me and now I'm looking for information like regarding that. Like, is that normal? Blah, blah, blah. And he gives you such a detailed answer about it. And I have actually stopped using it as much recently just because I haven't had quite as many thoughts lately. But there was a
Yeah.
period there where I was using it literally every single day, like multiple times a day.
Yeah. I just like don't have the best opinion of it because I've asked it so many, also it, like it's, let's not personify the computer. But anyway, it's like,
True.
I've asked it so much stuff and it's been wrong so many times. It also like misdiagnosed someone recently with poison ivy and told them that they had bed bugs. It's just like, it's just not there yet to where it knows
Yeah.
everything. And so people being so reliant on it really freaks me out. It also makes me feel like we're just constantly falling deeper into this whole of people being fucking stupid. Like, no one's thinking
Yeah.
independently. Like, I know I'm so woke, but like, literally, why are we using this?
No, I completely agree with that. And I think that you have to like do the due diligence of checking whatever chat tells you. And this is like a smaller example, but I was asking, I think, for book recommendations. Like, I liked this book. What are books that are similar to this? And it was giving me the title of this book, and I just said, like, chat, I don't think that that's the title of the book. And it was like, oh, you're right, it's actually called this.
Exactly.
Like, it's
exactly.
yeah.
That's the thing. People are using it for like their papers in college. I know people that literally are like, hey, write me an email that says this. And it's like, it would literally take you less time to type up the email. It's just like, no one's using their brains
100%.
anymore. They're totally trusting this thing. You ask it a question and it gives you all these references, and these aren't even real data sources. Like, it's just made up
Right.
shit. So I just don't trust it. And I'm like, I might be a boomer, but like, I'm not doing it.
No, I think that's totally fair, especially given your experience with it. Like, I think that you just have to have the afterthought, I guess, to make sure that the information that you're receiving like is accurate. Like,
Yeah.
I'm asking it like literally dumb shit, such as, is Margaret or is Peggy a nickname for Margaret? And then it said like yes, and I was like, okay, but like why? And then it goes into all of the extra information. Like, to me, it doesn't
but Google
matter if
AI
that
can give you
information's
that.
right or. Yeah, no, Google AI can give me that. It's just chat. Like, chat is a habit for me now. It's a really bad habit.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I'm praying for your brain cells. I hope they find their way back to each other eventually. That will
They
be my
will.
nightly prayer for you.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, I haven't been using it quite as much lately. I've also been busy lately. So, like, there was a period of time there where I just, like, sat on the couch and was like,
Yeah, it's easy to
like,
get weird
yeah,
habits
literally.
during that time.
Yes, 100%. So I would just like ask it random shit. But yeah, I haven't been using it as much lately, but also like my screen time went down 5 hours this week, not to brag. So, yeah,
It's a
I've been
slay.
busy.
It's giving
Exactly.
productive.
The fact that I had 5 hours to decrease my screen time is like really fucking crazy, because I've definitely still been on my
impressive.
phone a lot.
It's impressive for sure. But I had a slow day at work the other day, and I was definitely on 5 hours. So you're not alone in that. It's the summer. I feel like summers are like a weird lull. No matter what industry you're in, it's like, I gotta find something to do. This is why everyone goes on vacation.
100%. And I have no vacations scheduled, so
I guess it's just you and chat about a pool.
Chat.
Yep.
Exactly. Like, I'm not going to be traveling. I'm not going to be flying. I'm not going to be driving anywhere. So, like, my carbon footprint is Chat GPT. And, like, I just have to, like, tell myself that that's okay.
Well, it's been lovely catching up and just like literally being psychotic with you. I've missed it so much. I cannot wait to see you guys again. We will reconvene in August and then hopefully in person in September. I'm excited to read Jessa Hastings, and I think we have some pre-scheduled books on the docket already for fall. But again, as always, if you guys have any recommendations for us, or you want us to comment on a book that you've recently read and loved or hated, let us know. We take Instagram DMs at Girlies of the Club, and then we have Gmail, that's theclubgirlies@gmail.com. So whatever your preferred method of communication. You can also like, comment, subscribe our YouTube, or comment on one of our lovely TikToks that Katie curates on her own. We love you guys, and thank you so much for listening. We will see you on the next one.
All right, guys. We will see you in August.
Bye.